Hey, it's Ben, and this is Drambo by BeepStreet. This video is going to be kind of walking through some performance effects, rather, somewhere, which you can download on Patch Storage. It's a project, and basically it has 14 different punch-in effects on different tracks. And it's meant to be used in the effects slot in your DAW because all your tracks are taken up with effects. So it lets you do things like this. Tapping on a pad triggers the effect or punches it in. And it's got reverbs, delays, stutters. You can have modulation on these effects too. You can have more than one effect in one track. You can have a whole processing chain. This is just like a template. This is not a decimator. This is actually triggering a sample over something else. But I don't know. It's fun. You can also sequence these effects. It can get weird. I'm just having fun. So I'm gonna clear this. I guess you can't clear it totally. So we'll start with none. I am using Woot from Brand Boss over top of this. I really like how it sounds. It just adds a lot of punch and presence and other cool things to your sound, and I am enjoying using it. So when you download this project from Patch Storage, these are just the effects that I put in for the most part. I think the decimator and the buffer, these tracks are not as they are labeled here. So when you download it, this track will have a decimator and this will have a buffer. Everything else is the same. Each track with an effect on it is going to have a MIDI to CV. It's going to have audio input, which is coming from the effects slot. It's going to have some processor modules, like a filter or a chorus or something else. And then they're all going to have a VCA module. And when you're just playing it, you're going to see there's no sound on any of these tracks. They're all being routed to the master. But no sound is coming actually through these tracks to the master. Our master track is still getting sound though. So when we come here, when you download this project, you're going to have a mixer at the end, and it actually has two audio inputs. So it has audio in from the track, which it's getting from all the other tracks in the project. But then it's also getting signal through the audio input, which is, again, coming directly through the effects slot. So in a way, it's kind of bypassing all these other tracks. It's the dry sound, essentially. And that goes into this VCA, which then goes into the mixer as the amp envelope. Now, in between that, you have a gate inverter, which basically sends out a positive gate signal or a gate on when the gate inverter itself is not receiving a gate. So you can see that here. It's on, and I'm not pressing anything. I am not giving it a gate, but it is sending out a gate. And then that's going to the VCA. So when I'm not doing anything in this instance, the gate's on and sound passes through the VCA. Now, if I go in and enter some steps, you're going to see steps on other tracks trigger the gate inverter, which closes the gate, which closes audio going through the VCA, and then I'm hearing the triggered VCA from other tracks. So now no sound is coming through from audio input, or barely any sound. Kind of like snaps up briefly. So the way that's happening is when you open up this processor rack, there's all these OR modules. Now, an OR module looks at two different inputs, and when one of the inputs is basically like all the way at 1, it's going to send out a positive value. So if either input gets to that positive 1 value, then the OR module sends on a positive 1 value. So this is sort of a binary. It's either on or it's off. So these are hooked up to, the first one is hooked up to the gate from the MIDI to CV on the first track. And then we'll just get out of this. The second one is hooked up to the gate from the MIDI to CV on the second. So what about the second OR? Well, it's looking for an on signal or a gate signal from either this OR module or the MIDI to CV gate from the third track. So on and so forth. So basically, this chain of OR modules is looking for a gate from any single one of these tracks. So if any or more than one of these tracks have a gate from the MIDI to CV, then this gate inverter is looking for a gate from that processor rack. So if any of these tracks have a gate going through, then the gate inverter is going to close. This VCA will stop, so you'll stop getting the dry sound, and you're going to have the VCA opening up on those tracks with effects on them, sending the sound through into the master track and then through the mixer for you to hear. So that's how this works. It's here just as a template, so you can swap out all the sounds. I think the only thing that isn't the same, again, it's that decimator, and then this buffer has like a delay. It's like a stutter effect with some modulation on the delay time. Anyways, I think it's really fun to play around with. It lets you like trigger effects live and sequence them in if you want. I don't know. If you have any questions about this, just ask. Have any ideas or you extend upon this, then post it to patch storage, share it with other people. Have fun with it.